I want to welcome you back to the D-Lo Show. I am your host, Ryan D-Lo Delosier. Today I have the ultimate bad luck, the life and loss of Kyle Flerchinger. This episode here, this is one that is it's another unsolved murder in Yakima, but it's actually not it's a shooting and then a bystander who was shot. So it's an interesting story, interesting in the way it goes through. But we're gonna go through this one right here. So it's a phrase that we hear often: wrong place, wrong time. But in the case of 20-year-old Kyle Flerchinger, police in Yakima, Washington use an even more haunting description. They call it the ultimate bad luck. Kyle wasn't part of a lifestyle of violence. He was just a visitor, a son, and a fiancée who loved fishing and hunting. He was a big-hearted man who would do anything for anyone. But on Tuesday night in March of 2010, his life was cut short by a conflict he didn't even know was happening. So going back to that date, March 30th, 2010, Kyle was staying with friends at a home in the 700 block of North Natchez Avenue. At around 10 p.m., Kyle stepped out into the backyard to smoke a cigarette. At that exact moment, a block away near East G Street and North 6th Street, a separate confrontation was boiling over. Two brothers from the Sunnyside area were leaving a friend's house when they were mistaken for rival gang members and attacked. As the brothers tried to run, the shooting started. One man, 21-year-old Arturo Galvez, was hit at least twice in the back. He would eventually survive his injuries, but one of the stray bullets traveled nearly a block, clearing fences and distance until it reached the backyard where Kyle Flerchinger stood. Kyle was struck in the back of the neck. Kyle was rushed to the Yakima Valley Memorial Hospital for 3 days, and then for 3 days, his family and his fiancee Amanda held out hope. But the damage was too severe, and on Friday, April 2nd, Kyle was taken off of life support. Even in death, Kyle's grieving nature remained or his giving nature, excuse me. Even in death, Kyle's giving nature remained. Several of his organs were donated, giving the gift of life to others. A final act of kindness from a man described by his family as a giving person. Well, 13 years later, Kyle's case remains unsolved. Detectives have the bullet casings, they have evidence from the scene, and perhaps most frustratingly, police believe they now know exactly who was involved. But the investigation stalled because of a lack of witnesses. In the neighborhood plagued in a neighborhood plagued by gang violence, silence is often a survival tactic. Detective Kevin Case, who currently handles the case, says they need people with information to have the courage to step forward. He says if we can get information that's credible, there is no limit to what the information can be. Even a he said, she said rumor could be the key that finally brings Kyle's killers to justice. So, if you have any information about the murder of Kyle Flerchinger on March 30th, 2010, 16 years ago, please contact Detective Kevin Kays at 509-249-6874. You can also email you can email this to, it's YPD Cold Case, it's all one word, YPD Cold Case at yakimawa.gov, or you can leave an anonymous tip with Yakima County Crime Stoppers. Kyle was an innocent victim of a war that he wasn't even part of, and it's time that his family has received the answers that they've waited for over a decade to hear. And again, some of these things right here, this is just one that's in there. It's in the Yakima Police Department. They have a murders case right here. They have a web page. It's a GIS page where they track where all of these murders happen, and this case is still listed as unsolved. It's listed as happening at on March 30th, 2010, at 10 p.m., and it was assigned to Detective Kellett at the time. And case number, if you're wondering on this one, it's 10 for the year 2010, and then 05226. The victim was Kyle Flerchinger, and the weapon involved was a firearm. And then the description, which is on the website right here on the Yakima Police Department Murders 2010 to present GIS page. Police believe they know who did it. Here's the description. So Mr. Flerchinger was shot while outside a friend's residence from a stray bullet from a gang confrontation down the street. Police believe they know who was involved, but they need people with information to have the courage to step forward. So please help us bring those responsible for Kyle's murder to justice. And if you have information, there's a way to give the tip on the murder map, and I had mentioned that before too. So you can call the detective in charge again. Now is Kevin Case, 509-249-6874. You can contact Yakima County Crime Stoppers, or you can even go to YPD Cold Case at yakimawa.gov and send them an email there as well. An article from the paper as well too. This was one on when it says. Idaho man hit by stray bullet in Yakima dies, and they had an article write up about him as well. And there's quite a few articles, but one here this was his obituary. So Kyle Thomas Flerchinger, 20, of Orofino, died Friday, April 2nd, 2010, at Yakima Valley Memorial Hospital. He was tragically murdered while staying in Yakima with friends. Kyle was born December 10th, 1989, in Lewiston, to Gerald L. and Terry Lovely Flercher. Kyle was raised and educated in Orofino. He moved to White Swan, Washington in 2008 to join Job Corps. Kyle returned to Orofino. He was in Yakima visiting friends at the time of his death. Kyle's greatest passion in life was fishing and being outdoors. He loved hunting and camping. He especially enjoyed being with his family and many friends. Kyle was a big-hearted man and would do anything for anyone in need. He was a giving person. His greatest gift was donating his organs so others may live. He is survived by his mother, Terry Lovely, and her fiancé, Don Spalding of Orofino, father, Gerald Flercher of Kamaya, brothers Chris Flerchinger of Kamaya, and Levi, a sister, Geraldine of Pocatello, also grandparents Mary Luca of Kuskia, and Alvin Bennett of Athena, Oregon, and a great-grandmother, Adina Lovely of Orofino, and fiancée Amanda Pennington of Yakima. Also numerous aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews. Sounds like he had a big, great family. He was preceded in death by his great-grandmother, Elva Lovely, great-grandfather, Ed Lovely, grandmother, Elva Lee Willihite, and grandfather, Rex Flerchinger. A memorial service will be conducted at a later date. A special thank you to the Yakima Police Department, Crimes Victims Compensation, and the special care given to Kyle by the staff at Yakima Valley Memorial Hospital Critical Care Unit and Life Center Northwest. Words can't express how deeply we appreciated all the care given to our family during this difficult time. And so that was his obituary that was listed in there in the newspaper. So this came up again later too. There was another shooting in the area again of where Kyle was shot. So this is from April 16th of 2017, a shooting Saturday night at a Northeast Yakima convenience store has left a 26-year-old man in critical condition. A store owner worried about violence in the area. That's people. That's kind of the way it is around that area. A man was sitting in his car parked in front of the Market and Deli at 315 North 8th Street when he was shot around 8:45 p.m. According to Yakima police, he was taken to the local hospital and then transferred in critical condition to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. Police have yet to release the man's name or provide further details about the shooting while detectives continue to investigate. Spokesman Mike Bassinelli on Sunday morning said the man was still in critical condition and that further information wasn't available. This is the third shooting at the Market, 2 of them homicides within the last year. That, coupled with the recent shooting death of a convenience store clerk during a robbery just blocks away, has the market owner, Sammy Arwada, worried. It's dangerous, but what can I do? Arwada said of the market Sunday morning. You have to go to work, so you have to pay for your family, things like that. The clerk working at the time of the shooting was off, but was expected to return his next shift, Awada said. Set in a hotbed of gang violence, the market has witnessed at least 9 area shootings, 4 of them homicides over the past 8 years. And again, this was back in 2017, so I have a feeling that Kyle's is going to be on this list here as well. So Awada, who owned the store for the past 4 years, refrained from discussing the violence that has long plagued the neighborhood, largely composed of old bungalows and high poverty. It's gangs, and I don't want to say anything that will cause me any problems. I'm sorry, he said. It's outside. It's not with us. It's kind of the sad state of that area right there. I imagine it's still that way today. Even another 8 years later, gangs still run that area, and they've actually kind of spilled over into some other areas where we looked at Kylie Rose Toll and where that's at, and there's been a few murders in that area where we're going to get into the Dead Presidents neighborhood where the streets are named McKinley, Lincoln, Roosevelt, Jefferson. I can't remember what else is over there, but there's been a lot of things going on there, so it's starting to spill over into other areas of Yakima. So we need to get in control of these gangs. Anyways, so, but the violence appears to be rising to a level that's reaching those not involved in gangs. And that's kind of the statement right here that's going along with it. Police said victims in the past 2 homicides at the store had no ties to gangs. On March 5th, Jared Scoggins was walking with a friend outside the store when he was shot in the abdomen and was pronounced dead at the local hospital. Less than a year earlier, on April 28th, 2016, Sean Martinez died after being shot multiple times while outside the market. Neither was believed to have gang ties, police said. On Sunday, it wasn't clear whether the most recent shooting was gang-related. These shootings resulting in injury or death have taken place near the market since 2009. So here's just kind of a list of them. So in 2017, March 5th, 2017 was Jared Scroggins, 23, walking with a friend near the market shortly after 10:30 p.m. When he was shot once in the abdomen, he was later pronounced dead at a local hospital. 17-year-old friend walking with him told police the shots were fired from an unknown assailant. On April 28th of 2016, just a year earlier than that, Sean Martinez died from being shot multiple times while outside the market after buying a soda. He had walked from a nearby mental health facility where he was receiving treatment. That's just horrible. You're going to get treated, trying to get yourself right, and then you get shot buying a soda. 4 years earlier, February 19th of 2012, a 29-year-old man stumbled into the market after seeking help after being shot in the back. He told police he was walking in the 700 block of D Street when he was approached by a group of men dressed in black, and that one of them shot him in the back. Police said it was a gang shooting. And then going a year earlier to 2011, October 31st, 2011, that would be, if you know your dates of the calendar year, that is Halloween. About 6 p.m., a 20-year-old man was shot in the leg or hip while walking out of the market. Just walking out of the market, someone shoots you. That was Yakima on that time. It's still not much better today. On December 20th, again, these are just tough times of year. It's right before Christmas. December 20th of 2010, police found a 22-year-old man shot in the chest about 11:20 p.m. at the market. Police said the shooting was gang-related. On September 24th, 2010, responding to a call about 11:45 p.m., police found a 27-year-old man with a gunshot wound to his leg in a nearby alley. He told police he had been walking in the alley when he was shot by an unknown person. And then here's Kyle's in March of 2010. Kyle Flerchinger of Idaho was struck and killed by a stray bullet about 4 blocks northeast of the market. So kind of, in the same, it's not exactly right next to the market, but Kyle could have very easily walked to that market, and this just happened to get shot. He was shot in the backyard, though, as I mentioned earlier, by a stray bullet. And then October 31st, again, another Halloween one. Jason Baldos was shot and killed outside a Halloween party just blocks from the market. So those are just some of them right there that are related to just a story that I saw that was related to this one as well too. It covered Kyle's death, but also just some of the violence that's in that area, some of the truly senseless violence that goes along in that area, just shooting people because there's no reason really. There's no reason, no justifiable reasons for people you don't even know. So gang violence is horrible. It's awful, and it can ruin a city, and it's just really too bad. So again, if you and it creates this culture as well too, like you see in this case too. They say that the police officers know, they have a feeling they know who did this, yet they can't get any witnesses to come out and speak out against it out of fear, even 16 years later, out of fear of what could possibly happen. So, yeah, with the gang ties that go along with it, obviously those gang ties run pretty deep. And if you know anything, if you can, you can do this anonymously using the Yakima County Crime Stoppers link. You can you can also call the non-emergency line at Yakima Police Department. The detective involved that was with that, see if I can find his name again on my list here of notes. It was Kevin Case. Again, his number is 509-249-6874. So as you're going through this, as you're listening to this, I'm glad you made it this far. And I hope that you have an awesome day. If you like this, if you like what I'm doing, go ahead, like, subscribe, follow, and give me that 5-star review. Tell your friends about it. Let other people know. And spread the word of the D-Lo show. And if you've got some ideas for cases that you'd like for me to cover, go ahead and let me know too. I'm always looking for other stuff to do. Kind of gone down the rabbit hole with a lot of stuff as well too. So I've got a few other ones. There's been some murders around town. I mean, it's just kind of the way it goes. But again, I had mentioned during this podcast, and I've just said in some other ones too, I do want to kind of do a deep dive into that Dead Presidents area of Yakima, the Dead Presidents neighborhood, the Roosevelt, the McKinley, the what's the other one in there? There's a few roads that are in there. So Roosevelt, McKinley. I even included Cherry Avenue, even though Cherry is not a president. But yeah, those ones that are in there in that area. It's just there's a lot of violence and a lot of like domestic violence was big. There was some rape issues as well. There was some murders in there, some solved, some unsolved, but kind of a heavy gang presence. So I'll be diving into that along down the road too. But if there's other stuff that you want me to cover, I can tackle that. I can definitely go into that. I'll probably continue to give you Idaho 4 updates and Operation Net Nanny stuff as well too. Those are two cases that I really kind of dove into. The Idaho 4 was the first one, but the Net Nanny one was one that I found, and couldn't believe that we actually do that kind of stuff here in Yakima. So that was actually kind of a neat thing to see, that we actually are putting people behind bars who are abusing children but they're not actually abusing them, but they're intending to. So that was an interesting one. If you want to go back and check out, I have a lot of those episodes in there. Those are they're back a little ways, but I did cover quite a few Operation Net Nanny ones related to that, and there was stuff that went along with it. So yeah, there was what do I have right here? So there's Net Nanny Files. There was the Scout Predator. There was the Science of the Sting, and just some of those right there. There was 3 of them right there around the middle of February. So if you're looking, it's February 11th, 12th, and 13th when I published those episodes. If you're going back and taking a look, you can find those right there. Got a lot of episodes. I'm getting up there in numbers for how many I have done. So pushing 50. So yeah, I'm going to keep cranking them out. You keep listening to them. I'll do my job. You do yours. All right. Hey, have a great day.